So I'm going out today, so I thought I'll kind of record this whole thing as well. So we are on Kingsway, and I'm taking a left on Kingsway. I'm going to a city called Burnaby, which is a city adjacent to Vancouver. So Kingsway, if you look at it, it's more a Commonwealth kind of a name. It's not the kind of name that cities in the US might have, because it has like a king and like a way. So that kind of tells that Canada is more a Commonwealth country as well. So this road kind of cuts all the way through different streets of Vancouver, like every other road does, and then it leads us to Burnaby. And one of the places that this road kind of goes to is called as Central Park on Burnaby. So on one side of the road, you'll be able to see Central Park in Burnaby when the city starts. A lot of establishments on both sides of the road. I'll be able to show you a couple of shops that I generally go here as well. In Canada, one thing that happens is, as we get closer to the winter, the weather starts getting uglier. So fall, I mean, like when I say ugly, it gets like you see a lot of rainfall, and in the winter there's like continuous rain that goes around in Vancouver. Last year, if I'm right, 38 days of continuous rain was there in Vancouver. So that was a record high. I don't see a reason why it should not happen this time, but let's see. One of the things what I've noticed in Vancouver is it's a very beautiful city. They built it so very well. Every piece of land that you see in the city has some kind of work that you might see some kind of work that has gone in. Every piece of land, every inch of land has been worked. It might not be the same thing when you move outside of Vancouver, or like the lower mainland that they call, which has like multiple cities with it. Beyond that, it is going to be farms, or more a swamp, or it could be like a forest, or it could be everything else. But Vancouver, every inch of land has been worked on, or it has been designed in a specific way. There's something called as Vancouverism. There is a whole new term on city building as such, with respect to how Vancouver city officials plan the city. So it's a all new paradigm. I'll talk more about it when we go to the downtown. But to just give you some high level views, in Vancouver, every building's size in the downtown has been pre-decided, and it was built so that everyone gets to see the mountain view, or all these skyscrapers look good when you look at it from a certain distance. One of the things what you might also notice is, in Vancouver, no building is allowed to have an open parking. Every parking should be on the basement, so that you don't expose parking lots. So that's one of the other things that they consciously did with respect to Vancouver. Third thing that you might notice in Vancouver is, in the whole of Vancouver, there's no highway/freeway. So that's also like a part of this whole Vancouverism concept. So highways generally comes with a lot of bridges, and people believe that bridges tend to make cities less less beautiful. So in Vancouver, they completely avoided that whole thing. So you don't see any highway in Vancouver. Everything goes outside the city, and you have like smaller roads that connects every part of the city. Obviously, when there is no highway, it comes with its own cons, but people kind of prioritized the look of the city more than everything. And one of the things what you'll also notice is Vancouver is a pretty diverse, cosmopolitan city. It has a huge Asian population, followed by like a lot of Indian immigrants. You have immigrants across the world. You'll see like Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and in South Asia you'll have like people from Sri Lanka, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and you also have a huge Southeast Asian population. You have a huge Iranian population here, and Vancouver, like generally in Canada, a lot of people from UK also tend to migrate to Canada. So yeah, it's a pretty cosmopolitan that way. Vancouver is, and whole of Canada is becoming more and more diverse, which is good. So you saw a taco shop. You saw like I didn't talk about it, but there were like a couple of Indian shops when we kind of came via this road. There was a East African / Indian shop as well. Oops. Now you see a McDonald's. So this is Knight Street. If you take this road, you will hit a road called Marine Drive, and a lot of highways end at this. A lot of highways are there when you go to the end of this road, and each of these highways lead either to the east side of the country or to the south or to the borders of US. Generally, when we have to go to the US, you generally take this highway. You generally take the Knight Street, and then you tend to go there. But unfortunately, this is not Knight Street. I guess this is Victoria Drive. But anyways, it's something good to know. Let's do some retrospective. Why did I start this channel? Not sure. I thought, or why am I doing something what I'm doing right now? Because it's pretty easy. I don't have to do any post editing, but still at the same time very informative. And obviously, I believe that it's always good to create creative contents. And this is a very easy method, so I chose this one over everything else. I didn't want to start off with something very huge that requires a lot of editing before I start seeing people viewing it or getting some benefit out of it. I don't know what's the benefit out of this, but I thought it's a good way to share the city and story of the city, and I'll continue to do it as I move to other places as well. So one of my friend, she's an Iranian friend, so she told me that Vancouver, she was the one who told me that Vancouver is beautiful and I should be thinking about moving to Vancouver. When she told me that in Vancouver people don't judge by the accent with which you speak, and she had a Iranian accent. I mean, like some Iranian like slash and when she visited the US, she said people kind of had a different look when you speak with an accent. Same thing goes with Indian accent also, the accent that we all have or any. But in Vancouver, people don't look at it so obviously, or they tend to move beyond that and start looking at the content. So she said that Vancouver is such an evolved city that you will not feel that you're being people. It's a pretty evolved city, is what she said. This conversation, this topic is a pretty sensitive topic. So, but still, I wanted to kind of convey what it means. So, but generally, the takeaway is Vancouver is pretty accommodative, very nice. People are pretty nice. If you go back like 5 seconds, you should have seen a shop. It's called TNT. So it's a Chinese supermarket. Like predominantly, you will find a lot of Chinese product followed by, but not just Chinese products, but also other countries' products. But this is a place that you can come for shopping Chinese items, and I've been here once. It's a pretty good shop. It's called TNT Supermarket. So the rule of thumb is you're not supposed to block the intersection. So there was this other car which is still there. Even though I have a green, I'm not moving. That's primarily because I don't want to block the intersection. Looks like I kind of offended him a little bit. That's okay. It was my right of way. I'll talk more about all these stuff in other videos. While I'm talking about the whole right of way and other things, in Vancouver, driving is a privilege. Not everyone gets to drive here. Like 50% of every transportation or every moving from one place to another place happens over public transport or by foot. So which means that the city primarily depends on city does not depend on car as a mode of transportation, or individual cars, or having an individual motorcycle is not something that everyone here does. So generally it's pretty difficult to get your license here, and the insurance is pretty high. Generally they try to deter you from buying a car or using a car in every possible way. It's a very Canadian thing. It also goes with the Canada's commitments to the climate change accord and to everything. So that's their whole policy. Yeah, when we talk about policy, there are like three major parties in Canada. One is Conservatives, Liberals, and NDP. So these are the three big parties in Canada. Each of them range from left to right, while NDP and Liberals are on the left, Conservatives are on the right. Not too far right, and same thing on the left also, not too left, I believe. Generally, yeah, that's how Canada really works. People are liberal here. one of my friend was telling me that Canadian school syllabus is one of the best syllabus. They talk about the first wave of immigration that happened, the repercussions of it, everything. So they teach everything in a very responsible way, that so that the children here who kind of grow up tend to learn the history of this country by facts and not by propaganda. So that's a very important thing. If you stress on something far too much, it becomes a propaganda, and people tend to learn the history in a very different way, which might impact the whole adulthood in a very different way. But here people are pretty responsible in the way they teach history and in the way they kind of teach each of these subjects. So that's something that you will also notice as the syllabus, as the next generation of people tend to learn the right things in the right way. The country also starts becoming something better than what it was yesterday. So all these things are happening in Canada as we speak, so which makes it a really good place to be in. So we have been like on the road for like last 16 minutes and we are almost there. I'll show you the road that divides Vancouver and Burnaby. Burnaby is the city next to Vancouver on the east side. It's a pretty clear demarcation between Burnaby and Vancouver. It's like an annoying stuff, but still I had to do it. Look at this bike / cycle. We'll talk about the road sense to everything in another video. Let's get ready to say bye. Almost there. I'm closer to the destination, and we're closer to the next city that I promised to kind of show you. Yes, so this road is called Boundary Road, and this road divides Vancouver and Burnaby. So everything on the left side of this road from where we are, or the when we take left, is everything on the west side of this road is Vancouver. Everything on the east is Burnaby. So each of them will have like different postal codes to different cities, to everything. So that's what you're that's the most interesting part. I think this guy is doing something wrong. He's not supposed to come back, like not supposed to reverse the car, and he's on the road, or anywhere in the highway, or anywhere on the road. This guy definitely did that, which is wrong. So you see there's a huge building on the other side, so that building is part of Burnaby, but every other building on the side that is opposite to this big building is part of Vancouver. I'll just take the left here and then we'll bid adieu for today, and then we'll connect back on a different day. It's almost 6:10. Okay, let's get going. Yeah, what you see on the other side is Burnaby, and on the west side it is Vancouver. Okay guys, have a good night. I'll catch you on a different day. Take care, stay safe.